Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit up for that one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100.
Hello world, I am What If Study, and today we are doing What If Deku was drowned, specifically by Bakugo. And the last time Bakugo had accidentally killed Deku in one of their bouts and hateful, banter, it turned deadly when Deku was kicked in the stomach and was sent flying into a cold and icy death. Bakugo continued on his life, now just forgetting about normal life completely. He soon rose to the highest tier that he could at his age, defeating even the underground king of fighting, who had faced many heroes in the past, and had came out on top. But Bakugo had blasted a hole inside of his chest, in through the stomach and out through the back. A certain figure lingers in a bar. As he ponders, he stares at the screen, his yellow hair drooping behind him, his skeletal form lapping down on the bench as he just steadily brought a beer up to his mouth. Kid's got talent. Maybe. Oh no, you don't. Another voice comes from a fired up gentleman in the back. As he places his hand on the desk, fire arises from it in front of the yellow figure. His face burned from his previous endeavors. His face alights as he says, "He is mine." A competition that it shall be, as, the yellow-haired figure brings his arm up to this fiery figure. Fine, but he's mine. Just so you know. When you're lying on your back and staring up at me, just know that I called it, and I warned you. As both of them leave the bar in synchron, as they both just start jumping from rooftop to rooftop, we go back to Bakugo's position, now laying inside of a hospital bed. A kind old lady comes over to him. As he barely opens up his eyes, he can already feel her warmth, but also a sort of grumbling sound coming from her saying, "Kids these days are so ignorant with their bodies. I wish they would just take care of themselves better." As he says, as he brings himself up, she says, "No, lay back down, you're fine. As she brings him, she puts her delicate hand on his chest, bringing him back down onto the pillow. She says, "You have so many guests. God, it's always the famous types that bring me so much trouble." A slightly younger looking healer, very young, healer of a hero. The grandma that we saw before was only an image of this lady. Her healing kisses were felt on his face as he lays back down, almost feeling serene in the moment. He lets out a little chuckle as he continues in his thoughts, saying, "Just another goal down until I can become the best. And then no one." Until a figure bulges in, two exactly, Why, hi, young, what was your name, by the way? We're just, two men looking for a new, figure in the hero community. And you look great for the job, as both of them just kind of trample down. Bakugo looks up quite annoyed, his eyes barely lifting up as his whole body is, by this time, beaten and bruised. Honestly, he can give even less of a care. However, he notices that the fiery man, his aura, his whole being, he understands something about him. He recognizes something. As the lady says, "Oh, it's just you two again. Come on, let the kid have some space. Come on. Get out. As she tries to drag them away, Bakugo realizes who they are. Endeavor? As he brings his back arching up as some like cords kind of unstring themselves from his face. Is that you? I still remember. He grabs onto his left arm, one of his burn scars that had stayed for the longest time and was quite massive compared to all the rest of his, well, armament sort of abilities. A massive flame burst had came out at him one day. I never got to say, "Fuck you!" Endeavor's just like, wait, what? As he was just getting really proud and smug, Bakugo's like, "I could have dealt with him myself! That stupid slime villain was inside my grasps!" As Endeavor's just standing there very confused. As Bakugo continues just ranting about how he was about to take care of the slime villain that was currently enveloping him before. And Endeavor got in his way and burned his left arm for, years. I'm still looking for the compensation for that. Endeavor's just like, All Might, you can take this one. As he just walks out. All Might's just like, oh, well then. As he sits down onto the couch, he says, as he puts the feet of Bakugo to the left of him, seems like I got you all to myself then, Bakugo. Say, would you like to be the next best hero? Shh, you're kidding me, right? As Bakugo chuckles and brings himself even further up, taking his legs and crisscrossing them and crosses his arms too. He starts pondering a little bit, saying, what can you even offer me? I'm done being taught by old geezers. As All Might says, of course you are. Oh, no, I'm going to offer you my own quirk. As he, as the doctor, already left the room by this point, sound escapes this place as Bakugo says, what? As All Might starts to explain his whole situation, and tells him that, well, if he wanted to, he could have the next quirk and become, basically, the best hero of the new generation. As Bakugo starts, just like manically kind of to himself being like, are you saying I could become so strong no one could even touch me? As he says, yes, I could beat down anyone. I can destroy anything. As he looks down to his hands, cackling a little bit, All Might's just like, maybe this wasn't a good choice. As he's just like, he starts to like get up a little bit, kind of scared of Bakugo by this point, as Bakugo also follows him, seeming like he didn't even get injured in the first place. After all of that is shaved off by this entire situation to him. he just says, I'll be able to even beat down that strongest hero, All Might. Someday I'll kill that bastard. All Might, at this point, from what we know, a sweat drips down his face as he says, yeah, let me just get some of the paperwork. As he starts to walk out, he's just like, Bakugo's just like, I thought I just had to eat his hair. As then he looks up and sees that All Might running down the hallway, already buffed up, as everybody's like, oh my god, it's All Might. And he just goes billowing down the hallway. And Bakugo is like, you won't escape me that easily, bastard. As then he just like explodes down the hallway after All Might. He chases him down after this for a few months until we get to the Heroes Association's, starting thing, where all of the students are gathered, ready to defeat their robots. But Bakugo is focused on getting to All Might, not them. As he looks in and sees a bunch people of high class, all of them, sipping at champagne and different stuff like that, and watching most of them actually in more serious garb at the front in front of a glass pane, watching over a large stadium. And Bakugo had snuck in here trying to find All Might. When he spots him in the crowd, a more cloaked man sitting next to him, sort of talking to him, but also very seriously eyeing the glass plane and some of the screens that are above them too. Bakugo pays no mind to them, however, as he walks forward and sees that there's a gigantic table right in front of All Might, with a lot of people that he somehow recognizes in different ways. However, he doesn't care about that right now. He has his eyes on his prey. As he dashes forward and jumps onto the table, and then kind of like announcing himself to the entire party, as he hawk dives basically off of the table onto All Might's head. As All Might is buffed up into his full form, and Bakugo opens up his chompers, ready to bite down onto the head of hair that All Might has. However, he's thrown down onto the ground, MMA style, as All Might says, will you ever tire, child? I said that you're not going to get my power. Good one, old man. But I'm going to get it someday. As Bakugo gets back up onto his hands and all fours, kind of like a spider monkey, as he crawls around on the ground, readying himself to jump onto the figure again, as he starts to clear out what the rest of the heroes are, as he figures out that they are heroes, each one of them very high-class heroes, some in the top 10, and he sees specifically one of his role models, Best Genus, staring at him, that's currently trying to detain him. However, he's blasting himself side to side to side, making sure that he's not detained just yet before he gets one single hair at least. He almost grabs onto one, however, All Might grabs onto his hand and says, you know what? How about you prove yourself first? Not just against a floozy in an underground. As All Might grabs onto both of his hands, as Bakugo starts to bite onto his fingers, to no avail, as All Might throws him out the window, as it was opened up by a scarf-wearing man. He falls very far as he realizes, oh shit, I'm actually in danger. As then he looks down and sees a long drop, and then the air gets knocked out of him as he hits this metal, this green metallic kind of thing. As he barely gets up, he recovers after a minute. he hears a bunch of like clattering and explosions off in the distance as he gets up and realizes that there's 3 platforms, all green, and each one kind of like moving just a little bit as he can feel motors underneath him. He takes a greater look and he can see that he is on a massive mech, one bigger than a tower. Like, this thing could destroy a city. He looks down and sees them all staring at the battleground as all the people in the distance are just like fighting smaller robots. So this was my test, eh? I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do, but well, might as well try. As he puts both of his hands onto the ground, he focuses on it, and it's a really hot day and the sun is bearing down on his back, so it's easy for him to sweat a shit ton. Like, he really gives it his all. As he allows the sweat to collect for almost 10 seconds, as finally he thinks he's realized the biggest amount of sweat that he could pack, and remembers that lake that he destroyed. Lake-sized! Adam! And then, like, basically dropping a single piece of sweat inside of his hands. And then when it hits the machine, it just exponentially grows and grows and grows into this massive explosion. And this lake-sized explosion is almost contains a little bit of blue flame. You can see it. As it completely destroys the head of one of the level zeros. And the other 2 just start as they just start careening off to the left and the right. All 3 of them are sort of knocked out of commission for a little while as he falls down into the middle of the zero pointer. He looks around, curious, as the hell? As he sees all this technology and different stuff making a run. However, it doesn't seem too technical. I mean, he's seen cars. Like, cars are more technologically advanced than these things. As he looks around, all he sees is pistons and rotating parts. I can't do much down here. The hell? As he starts walking, basically, as there's a main track that runs through all of this. As he sees all the gears start to move, all of them seemingly going in the same direction, and then they start to pivot the other direction, and then suddenly the thing topples over. It seems like it's trying to get rid of him, as he barely holds onto a bar, holding himself up. He grabs onto a piston to lift himself a little bit higher. He notices that he is inside of the main section of it. Shouldn't there be a generator around here? If from what he thinks, as he realizes, yes, there has to be some, maybe multiple, as long as he gets into the middle of all of them. As he does finally get into some parts of it, he unlocks his sort of power to fly in a little bit, as he shoots explosions underneath his feet, allowing him to boost himself up. However, this destroys his shoes easily. It's not like he needed them anyways. He falls onto one of the pistons as each one seems to lift him up more and more and more until he finds an ab-looking section where it seems like there's 6 different rotating, engines, all with their bustling, energies all roaring in different sequences. As he aims a pond-sized explosion in the middle of them, he says, "Second one for today. I can't take much more of this." As he holds his hands out in front of him and says, "Pond-sized." As then, explosion. Completely destroying the middle of this level 1 robot. Level 0, I mean. As it falls and combusts into multiple different pieces, falling undead. Bakugo can be seen walking out from it victorious, however very, very, non-sweaty, which is bad for him. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'll be sure to get you a 3rd episode, as long as you watch it. And be sure to comment if you do want a 3rd one, because I'm starting to question that myself. Goodbye.
Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie when I made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit up, I feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100.